classics to me. Like those
Scary Movie to me is like one of those good movies. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those movies that you can watch every now and then.
Yeah.
And it was hysterical. Like I used to watch Scary Movie 3 religiously. Like the scene where Leslie Nielsen, I think it is, puts his finger out the president and he starts peeing out of it.
Yeah.
We're not so different.
Yeah. He was putting it in their mouth. And
Yeah, and then he realized it.
Hey.
Like,
everyone, we are here to give you the best show that's out right now. Don't At Me with Mykell and Alex. Right here in Beverly Hills, the beautiful city, the mean streets of Beverly Hills. I am Mykell the PG with my guy, Himes LA, in the building. What's up, Himes?
oh, we're on. What's up, guys? Don't At Me in the building. Live
yeah.
from Studio A in Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah, the mean streets of Beverly
Mean
Hills.
streets of Beverly Hills.
Oh,
Beverly Hills.
But
But
we
we're
got
forgetting one thing we're doing.
we got to give them a
Okay, we're back. This
Yeah.
is it. All right, fine. It's NBA free agency day. Things are heating up. We've
Yes.
already had the draft yesterday, Mykell. Free agency period is starting today. We've got a whirlwind of news to discuss with you
Wednesday.
guys
The draft
today.
is Wednesday.
The draft was yesterday. No, oh my gosh, the draft was 2 days ago.
Time
Sorry.
flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're stuck indoors. Shout out to everyone in
That
LA.
too.
Stay inside. Listen to the
Stay
curfew order.
safe.
10 to 5 a.m., people.
Yes.
10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Stay indoors. That way you can catch up on this NBA news with us here at Don't At Me with Mykell and Alex.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, let's talk about the best draft picks that we've seen so
Yeah.
far. So,
So-
Mykell, who's your top pick?
We all know the draft picks, easy to find them, but we're just giving you our favorite picks right here from Don't At Me. And of course, I'm going to start off with the first two picks. I would say that I think that the Timberwolves chose the right player. Anthony Edwards is exactly what they needed. You have D'Angelo get to stay at the point, and he's going to be a very athletic player to give them some athleticism to that back court. And then I love Wiseman to the Warriors, just a great pick. I see a David Robinson type of player that if he reaches his true potential that he can be. So those two picks I loved, of course, and then, of course, LaMelo. But I'm going to throw in some picks I really like that. So the pick that I really like, a couple of picks, you have Obi Toppin to New York.
Oh, okay. So we want to talk about Obi Toppin.
Yes.
By far the best pick in this draft, in my opinion. And I have a second pick I'll discuss later. But my favorite pick by far was Obi Toppin because it was the perfect scenario. Don't get me wrong. Anthony Edwards and Wiseman went to their respective perfect scenarios, right? In terms of the fit picks, the team needs what they have to offer.
True.
But Obi Toppin slid in this draft farther than anyone expected, and to land with the Knicks, a team that's really desperate for a big-time star, and to actually have a story that ends with a guy from New York ending up coming back home, being able to play for his team.
He actually wants to play for the Knicks, so that's big.
It's a dream come true story. And for those who follow me on Twitter at HimesLA, you guys saw my tweet where I showed Obi Toppin crying, and I wrote, the minute Obi Toppin realized he was going to the Knicks. But in reality, it's the truth because he's happy, and that's the perfect fit. It's the perfect story. It's the perfect fit because he's a guy that can average 20 and 10 for them down the road. And I think out the gate, given that they are trying to get better, they're getting younger players and they are accruing talent, he's going to help RJ develop, and his development with RJ, I think, is going to blossom, and they're going to be a perfect 1-2 punch for the Knicks in the future. I 100% believe that.
Yeah, and I think you add in Mitchell Robinson. They have a nice front court that they can play with, and Obi Toppin might be the rookie of the year.
He could be legitimately with the situation that's been given to him, and knowing that teams are going to be coming back a lot with a lot less rest, being realistic. He can take advantage of that, being a young cat on a young team, given a lot of minutes, given a lot of time, and the ball in his hands a lot. Like, I see Obi Toppin having that ability.
He's a young Amari Stoudemire. That's all I'm going to say.
My favorite pick in this draft, I'm going to go into the deep selection because I think it's more interesting, right? We can talk about the top picks all the time.
Yeah, of course.
One of my favorite picks actually came from my team, the Celtics, and I know that sounds crazy, but realistically, Peyton Pritchard out of Oregon is one of the most slept-on, underrated point guards in college basketball. Was a senior this year and killed it at Oregon.
I agree.
This is a guy that can legitimately be a backup point guard for a good team out the gate and really show his value. I think that Peyton Pritchard is a sneaky good pick for the Celtics, especially a team that needs a good like juice in the guard rotation. We need
Yes.
something. Brad
Yes,
Wanamaker's
yes.
on his way out. We're relying on Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, and Jaylen Brown really to hold down the fort, but we need depth. And adding a guy like Pritchard is adding a guy who can definitely score on his own and facilitate the scoring.
Yes.
He's very much, to me, Rondo-esque with his passing
You
ability.
said he had a game in college, 20 and 20.
I think it was 20 and 10, 20 or 20. One of the two,
Okay.
and I covered it.
It
was a
incredible.
double-double. He's a double-double machine, and he is a pass-first point guard that can
Yes.
score. I'm excited for that
Something
pick.
something the Celtics don't have.
Yeah, realistically, we don't have a guy.
Kimba's not a pass first
No,
guy.
he is not. He's a scorer, but he can facilitate.
Yeah.
This is a guy who really is willing to facilitate the ball first,
Yep.
but if need be, he can get the ball and score on his own and dominate a team.
So do you have another favorite pick that's non-Celtic?
Honestly, the only reason why that was my favorite pick is because he fell so far in the draft farther than he would. And
Yeah.
it wasn't because my Celtics picked him. It's because that's a sneaky good pick for any team. If you had the Atlanta Hawks picking him or the Pistons, I would have said that's a sneaky good pick for them
Yeah.
because they're picking up a low-risk, high-reward player that was slept on in the draft that I think legitimately should have been within the 15 to 20 range.
And I got another guy that I think kind of fits that mold as well. Nico Mannion. Like
Oof.
at the beginning of the year, people thought he was a for sure lottery pick. It didn't go as planned for him. But to get him at
Yes.
46 to the Warriors gives them another playmaker to add to Steph Curry and Draymond Green that I really like to pick up.
I think that he's the that's also another one of those perfect pick for the perfect team scenarios.
Yes,
I
I
think
agree.
this is one of those rare years where we're legitimately seeing a lot of teams, instead of just taking the talent available, they're also blending, taking
Yeah.
the right talent
This
for
fits,
the right
we need
fit.
this guy.
And I think that's a strategic move that's setting up for a great season to come. But you know what's going to be setting up for more?
What's that?
The draft picks are nice, but the
Yes.
NBA free agency period, man, that is what we're here for,
Oh
what I'm
my.
about. This is like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, every holiday on the planet rolled up in one every day of the year. This is what I'm about, man.
Man, it's going to be crazy because you're going to see a lot of like movement. It's not the biggest of names, but it's going to be players that are going to be perfect for where they are end up at, and it's just going to be a lot because it's all bunched together.
That's the
So
reason
that's
why
what's
this
so
is
interesting.
exciting. 100%. It's because so much has to happen within such a short period of time that every team is going to have to be forced to make these moves.
Yes.
Whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, they're going to make these moves, pulling the trigger a lot quicker than they normally would.
True.
And we're seeing that now. As we're recording this episode, the Celtics just shipped out Enes Kanter all the way back to Portland.
Yes.
Now he's there again, which means the Celtics are going to have all this money to go play with, because now we're going to talk about the first move, which is Gordon Hayward let us know that he has declined his $34 million option, which pretty much surprised nobody unless
True.
you guys thought he was going to go with the money, which I wouldn't have blamed him for. But he opts out, and because he is an interesting player, this is why the dynamic for him and other teams gets great
Yes.
and gravy, because Hayward is a solid 17, 8, and 6 type of guy to come off
Yeah.
the bench
If
if
healthy.
you want
If
to come
healthy.
off the bench, and he can also start on another team. He was forced as the third type of role player in terms of scoring hierarchy on the Celtics because Hayward and Brown developed at the wrong time for him, which was right out the gate when he got injured.
Yeah.
Now, because that fit doesn't work, he can go to another team, ball out, and it looks like a low-risk, high-reward situation, even though the teams that can sign him out the gate are going to have to offer him the most, being Charlotte or the Knicks.
Knicks, yep.
But this is where things get fun. Sign and trade scenarios,
Yep.
and there's a team I have in mind, and I want to throw the scenario at you. Los Angeles calls Boston, or San Antonio calls Boston. Either way, I want a big, and I want to end up with someone who can help spread the floor for the Celtics, be a rebounder both offensively and defensively, and give us someone who can be a putback player and stay around the rim. Give the business to opposing bigs and help out.
I
the
got
wing
an
talent.
even better one.
No.
Sign and trade.
Whoa. Calm
Okay.
down. Calm down.
Okay.
You'll get
I'm
your
just
turn.
letting you know I got
Hey,
an even better one.
whoa. Mr. Wings, calm down. We get it. You want your time? Man, I'm going to cut that out. Fuck it.
No,
All right.
do it.
So, for me, I think the Celtics give a call to Los Angeles and they say, we would like one Montrezl Harrell, and we know that he is on his way out. So for me, although the fit might not seem ideal, I think that the swap for Montrezl Harrell and a sign and trade for Gordon Hayward and a sign and trade would be ideal for the Celtics in this scenario, but not the Clippers. And that's why for me, realistically, I'm going to call San Antonio and say, I want LaMarcus Aldridge. We know that you want to get out of his contract. Things aren't working out well, and
Yep.
you want to start moving on and prepping for the next phase of life after this.
Yeah.
So what do? They ship out LaMarcus Aldridge, Marco Bellinelli, give us them, and we give them Gordon Hayward and a couple of players and picks because that's an optional fit. Even though the Indiana Pacers fit, we all know that works out, and that's the team that's most rumored. The trade that would incorporate Miles Turner and sending some other picks, or possibly Victor Oladipo to the Celtics. I'm more in favor of getting a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge, who is available, than going with the assumed trade scenarios that you would get Miles Turner, Victor Oladipo, and some picks.
I don't think you get Oladipo with it, but I like the Miles Turner pickup. First of all, with Hayward being a free agent now by opting out, he can truly decide, I don't want to go here, so I don't want this sign and trade. So I think Indiana would be
It's the only scenario that works realistically.
He comes from there. He lives there during the summer, and you get to swap him for Miles Turner. So both teams are winning, and he's still going to a solid team that has some bonus.
They've done this before.
Still have Oladipo over there, so you can see something happening there with Indiana.
Mykell, they've done this
I would love
before.
it, yeah.
They did this with Victor Oladipo, and now they're going to do this again with Gordon Hayward, where they bring guys who have homegrown, who are from there, who have ties there. They bring them back. They get them to develop. They bring them back into the style and all-star form that they were once in that state, and they take advantage of it. It works out. That happens to be one of the situations that happens with guys from Indiana. It almost makes sense.
I would love that trade for
it's a
both
fit.
teams.
It's a fit. Don't
teams.
Get me wrong. I understand it, and I like it, and I think Miles Turner does play well with the Celtics. I think his fit would definitely help the Celtics a lot in terms of having a rim protector, having a guy who can space the floor, and also have a guy who can run pick and pop with Kemba. But I definitely would like to see what else there is out there, because I know what we get with Miles Turner, but I don't know what we could get for a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge. The scenario is still potentially there, and I think the upside with Aldridge,
if he still has it,
I think Aldridge's upside is still better than Miles Turner's upside, and that's why I am so gung-ho on making a move for this one player as opposed to this.
But if it was up to me, if I'm Gordon Hayward, right?
No, if we're Gordon Hayward, we both know the answer. He is going to go to Indiana because that's the most likely scenario. That's the most.
I wouldn't even pick Indiana. I would say, you know what? I'm going to go to the Knicks, get all of this money there. I'm going to possibly have Van Vliet as a teammate. So you have those two guys together, along with R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, who we talked about earlier, and Mitchell Robinson. That is a solid starting five.
Oh, it is. It's 100% a solid five.
And you get to play at the Mecca. And that, if I'm Gordon Hayward,
I don't see Hayward fitting into the situation of being under the lights and under the big New York lights. I don't see him as a guy that just dealt with all he did. I don't see him dealing with the New York media, dealing with injuries of that caliber in the similar light. I don't think he fits that limelight. I think Indiana is realistically the best situation for all teams considered. But I don't like that it's just Miles Turner. Maybe I'm just thinking low, and I haven't paid enough attention to Miles Turner's game enough to see the justification with the Celtics. No. I know he can play. But as a fit, I think LaMarcus Aldridge fits better than what Miles Turner would bring.
Hey, we shall see. So I mentioned Fred VanVleet.
Yes.
Who's another one of the free agent names out there. He already said it. I'm going for the Bucks.
You get your bag.
He wants his bag. He wants his money. So I mentioned the team that I feel that it's the best fit. New York, you get to play in that big market. Going there, there's not really much expectations. You know? Everyone's in that area is going to be talking about what? The Brooklyn Nets, because KD, Kyrie.
That's what's hot. And
you know what I'm saying? So the New York, the Knicks, this is perfect. They can kind of build quietly and slowly with R.J. Barrett, with Toppin there, with Mitchell Robinson. That if Van Vliet goes there, he's going to get his bag, which he wants, but then he's going to be in a situation where he's going to have the ball a lot, and he can be a guy that tries to average 20 points. He can become, you know what Kemba Walker was with the Charlotte Hornets. So for me, Van Vliet, New York will be the best look.
And I mean this in the best way possible. Fred VanVleet is going to be the best overpaid player this summer, right? He's going to be getting the starter type minutes.
Could be true.
He's going to be getting the starter type bucks because this free agency period, the plethora of guards, he is one of the cream of the crop talents. We also know that there are teams that are guard desperate that are willing to spend the money like they always do in the free agency period, like the New York Knicks. And we know that they need some guys to get the money in the door, right? So Fred VanVleet is a perfect point getter. He's a good player, but I think that he's going to fall under the Lou Williams and also the Jamal Crawford style category where they get paid the big money, but it's never truly really justified. It's never really justified in the end. Realistically, when you're getting paid at the end of the day with every contract, contract, there's an expectation that you will value and you will bring value into winning a championship.
Yes.
But their value will never meet what they are paid. And I think Fred VanVleet, if he goes to another team, I'm saying if he goes to another organization, if he stays in Toronto, I think that's even if he gets paid that money, I think it's the best situation because they've maximized. They've already been built. They've maximized his value, and they can give him more than what he's already making in terms of his actual talent, right? They can build that more so. But the Knicks are going to overpay for this man, and it's going to be a shame because then they're going to screw themselves later down the road cap-wise.
Hey, he can prove everyone
I'm hoping he does. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. He is a great player, and he's a good scorer, and he's a legitimate player, someone that should get the respect. True. And I don't mean any disrespect by it. It's just we've seen this type of thing go down before again and again and again in the NBA. Yep. And to me, this is one of those guys that falls under that category where he's benefiting from a 2-season run where he was very good, winning a championship, and then had a season with
shots,
100%, and then having another year where he didn't have that big guy on his roster, so he could take some of that limelight. He grew with Siakam at the same time, and now he's going to get paid more than Siakam would.
It just matters exactly what he's looking for, but I just think in New York, hey, they're going to roll the ball out, do what you want to do, and I think that's what he's looking for to prove to people that Kyle Lowry is an all-star. I was starting next to Kyle Lowry.
I deserve the respect.
I look just as good as Kyle Lowry. I deserve that same respect, but I can't do it next to Kyle Lowry. So if I'm in New York, everything you do in the Big Apple is big time.
Well, then is he in your mind bigger than Kyle Lowry in terms of importance on the team for the Raptors? On the Raptors.
No, because I think Kyle Lowry is the heart of that team, heart and soul of that team. Yes. But I think VanVleet does some things better than Kyle Lowry.
100%.
You know, like shooting and sometimes scoring and stuff like that. Just Kyle Lowry brings that toughness, that defense, and he can do some of the offensive stuff. So VanVleet, I hope it's New York. But we got to talk about
one thing I will say. This guy, get your money. Regardless whatever anyone says, get your money at the end of the day. Secure the bag.
Get your bag. Another name we have to mention.
Give it to me, Mykell.
Montrezl Harrell. Like, what do we think he's like? I'm not sure what he's looking for. I've been looking through pages to see where could he fit. It doesn't make
sense.
Where could he fit?
To me, there are a lot of teams where Montrezl Harrell could fit. Right?
Okay.
There's no one that I see immediately that has one, the money, or two, the players that they're willing to get rid of. Where he actually works.
Yeah,
and the only
team trade.
Yeah, and the team that I think has a great need for a player like him and he would fit ideally would be the Celtics, right? Mm-hmm. But the situation is murky because one, Hayward's going to leave, which means you have to pay Tatum the max, which is potentially what's getting negotiated and finished tonight.
Yep.
And that means less money to have available. They just moved out Enes Kanter because they're in preparations to pay this man. So however much money you have left.
Thinking of a bag, Tatum is about to get a crazy bag.
Oh, my God. If we're talking about guys like Fred VanVleet trying to get a bag, Jason Tatum.
Boy, that no Tatum, we need to hit him up and get some.
Shout out to Mike Lou, bro. Mike Lou out in Europe killing it right now.
Throw some of the bag once he signed it, bro.
Please. We'll take anything, man. But yes, I think that Montrezl Harrell's fit is kind of murky. I think that he would work best on the Celtics, or another situation where I think it could work is, surprisingly, it wouldn't be a shock if New York actually gave him a call and said, we're interested, we'll sign you, and then they put him alongside Obi Toppin. I know that sounds wild.
I like Mitchell Robinson.
Don't get me wrong. I do too, but we've seen the Knicks time and time again. Look at last year. They went after Julius Randle, and then what they do? They got Bobby Portis, and then what they do after that? They got Taj Gibson.
Yeah.
So when you sign 3 forwards, of which 2 are
they had a
starters,
purge. The Knicks purged their
everyone.
Their
That's what I'm saying, though.
Hey, if I was Montrezl Harrell, what I would do is, you know what? We were right there as the Clippers. I'm gonna sign this 2-year deal. I want to get paid a lot of money this year. So you guys give me the bag and try to see if you guys can win a championship.
Yeah, give them 2 years.
From there, next year's market may be looking more for that type of player that he is, because he plays big, but he's about 6'7", 6'8".
And let's not forget, the coronavirus is going to affect the values of these players and the free agency period. So I legitimately believe that in a year or two, when things start to return to some normalcy, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
Player values are going to also go up, but in some way go down.
Yeah, man. So it's going to be a very, very jam-packed and crazy free agency period, and I'm so excited to see the different moves that are going to be made.
Oh, it's going to be freaking marvelous, man. This is the most wonderful time of the year, man. Getting to see all the movement and action occurring, especially now when we need it more than ever. So I'm excited. You guys should be excited.
Oh, yeah.
NBA free agency starts tonight, people. So be ready. Be ready for these crazy, insane moves Don't forget to like and subscribe to us at Alex Himes on YouTube, as well as checking us out on all social medias. I'm at HimesLA, and this is
Mykell the PG, baby.
There we go. And also to everyone that is in California, please. There was a curfew stay-at-home order ordered.
Yeah.
So from the hours of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Non-essential work. Everyone is supposed to be at home. So please abide by that order.
Yes.
They do take that seriously. We've seen people getting tickets out here. So please stay safe, stay healthy. Make sure to wear your masks right now. Wear gloves. Whatever you need to do. Stay healthy, stay happy, people, because now is the time more than ever where we need to. Okay?
Yes, yes.
From our family at Don't At Me to yours. We love you, and we'll see ya
next week, baby.